Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch. Remember that this is not going to be available on PC just yet. The lineup for upcoming DLC for Nintendo Switch and PC is still not synced up. That will be happening in middle to late February from the information that I've seen so far. So that's not ready to happen just yet. So this is going to be just relevant to Nintendo Switch players. And in this video, we're going to be going over all of the new USJ Collaboration armor information that we have basically been gathering on the details for a little bit over a month now. Originally, NGA, and huge shout out to them, link in the description below, they went in ahead and posted all the information, the images that we're going to be going over and all of that, but it wasn't necessarily confirmed by any other sources. They basically got the information out there a couple of weeks back, and I didn't necessarily feel all that confident going over just that information alone. Just recently, we got the information from the miners, essentially looking over the last patch for Monster Hunter Rise and basically all the quests that were added into the system. And along those quests, we got the confirmation that the USJ event quest will be dropping in January, or at the very least, to contextualize a little bit better, we will be getting the USJ event quest before the next patch. Usually that means that, before the end of the month, Capcom is very good at dropping a patch at the end of the month, even if it doesn't necessarily add anything major and it's just simple bug fixes. We will be getting this new USJ event quest before the end of the month. We are also set to line up to receive the emergency Apex Diablos emergency event quest also before the end of the month, and something else as well, not necessarily all that important. But with all that out of the way, I definitely want to go into full detail as best as possible, and links in the description below for the original sources. So without any further ado, there's 6 images that we're going to be going over: the full set, the weapons, and then the quests themselves, and of course how they're going to look. So first and foremost, this is pretty much the Iceborne collaboration, the USJ collaboration that we got from Iceborne. The armor sets are a little bit tweaked if you look at them visually, but they're not that different at the end of the day. We don't necessarily get to see the male one. We do see the female one. We do see the Palico one. So they pretty much resemble pretty much equally, almost like 90% the ones that they looked, and the way they looked in Iceborne, but we don't necessarily get to see the male one. Presumably it will be just as similarly close. Well, obviously as a brand new one, of course, it's the Palamute one. We didn't have that in World and Iceborne, so of course that's brand new. But another thing that we also get brand new information on is the fact that this is an actual brand new set of armor. This is not going to be layered armor like it was presumably, guessed by a lot of people, that we were just going to get layered armor and that was going to be it. So looking at the images here, everything is in Japan. And again, shout out to NGA who made this available. We're looking at the headpiece having Constitution 2, Water Attack 2, Level 1, and Level 2 slots. The chest will have Constitution 2, Weakness Exploit 1, and a Level 2 slot. The arms will have Constitution 1, Weakness Exploit 1, Critical Element 2, and a Level 1 slot. The waist will have Quick Stealth 1, Water Attack 2, Critical Element 1, and a Level 3 and a Level 1 slot. And lastly, the legs will have Quick Stealth 2, Focus 1, and a Level 2 and a Level 1 slot. So if you're looking at it, you have 5 Constitution, 2 Weakness Exploit, I believe is 3 Critical Element, 1 Focus, and 3 Quick Sheath. And also Water Attack +2, I believe. So, interesting. A lot of slots, definitely a lot of 2 slots. I believe just 1 Level 3, so, and a couple of Level 1s as well. So decent in that regard. We'll just have to see what the mix-maxing armor stuff ultimately ends up being. Quick Sheath is one of those that, depending on the weapon, is going to be good. Again, Longsword mostly takes advantage of this. And Constitution, I'm not necessarily sure, how beneficial that is. I don't remember being too familiar with that one. So we'll just leave it at that. People make their own guesses as to how good that's actually going to be. When we're looking at the 2 separate weapons that are going to be available, it's also going to be a longsword with 180 raw power, 37 water damage, 20 hits of white plus handicap space, and 30% affinity, and a level 3 slot. There's also a rampage adjustment with anti-aerial, critical boost 4, and water boost 4. So it gets decent rampage boosters as well. The second weapon that we're also going to be getting available is a bow. 190 raw, 25 water damage, 20% affinity, a level 3 slot, spread shot level 2, 3, 3, and 5. And of course, rampage adjustments with anti-aerial, critical boost 4, and water boost 4. So if you were thinking, hey, there's a lot of water boosting here, yep, both weapons and the armor set are focused for water boosting because for whatever reason, that's what they're going for. If you are wondering why longsword and bow are the only two weapons that we're getting and we're not getting one for each one, that's just kind of way there's always been. You know, they pretty much always make the popular weapon like available a weapon for that. And again, because this is pretty much picking up from Iceborne, that's just kind of like what we had available there. And they're also the most popular weapons. Bow is the most popular ranged weapon. Longsword is obviously the most popular weapon overall, so that's not necessarily too surprising. Now, all of this, of course, including the layered Palico and Palamute armor sets, which will be layered. Remember, those do not have stats or anything like that. They do have like defense and stuff like that, but other than that, maybe even like resistances, but they're like layered. I don't necessarily think from the information that we're seeing here that these are actually going to be like actual layered armor, like actual armors with stats. I believe these are just layered for the Palico and the Palamute. But all of this will be spread upon two specific quests. Now, obviously, most likely they will be dropping at the same time. If this is going to be the January event or February, it doesn't matter. They're both going to be dropping the same day. One of the quests will have you hunting a Tetranodon, an Almudron, and a Magnamalo. Presumably, this is the quest you're going to be farming to be able to get the item that you then will be using to craft with the smithy and be able to make your armor sets. So this is going to be the armor set one. Then there's another quest that is a rampage quest with the Apex boosted Arzuros. So this is an introduction to a brand new rampage quest with, again, boosted Arzuros, which I don't believe that has been available before. Remember that we are getting those emergency event quests that they're, you know, boosted parameters, higher damage, more HP, all of that. But this is going to be a rampage version of that. This one is going to be the one that's going to be dropping the items for you to be able to go to the smithy and be able to make the weapons. So that's going to be for that. I do wonder if now they're going to take, now that we have 3 emergency quests available, we have 3 more emergency quests set to come by the end of, obviously, December, I believe, December 31st or January 1st. One of those 2 days, we get the Apex Rathalos event quest for emergency. And then, like I talked about in the separate video, I believe, like a week ago now, every 2 weeks, every other in between weeks, we're basically going to be getting the Apex Diablos emergency event quest, and subsequently the best one, and the one that I'm really waiting for, the real challenge, the Apex emergency Zinogre one. That's going to be the really good one that I believe will be dropping by the end of January, if not early February. So I do wonder if now they're going to start doing rampages versions of those boosted parameter monsters just to kind of keep it going and keep giving us challenges and stuff like that. It'll just be interesting to see. But yeah, that's pretty much all the details that we have regarding the USJ Armor event quests that I wish I could tell you are set to drop in January, but we just realistically don't know as of right now. All the information that we have doesn't actually tell us when it's going to drop. It just tells us what it actually is. I'm glad that it's actually an armor set with actual stats. It sucks that the 2 weapons that they're providing us with, longsword and bow, are not weapons that I use. I'm sure they're going to be very popular for other users, but you know, it is what it is. Water boosted damage, you know, whatever. It's just kind of like a wasted thing if we're fighting other types of monsters, which are the majority in the game. But, you know, it's still good that we're getting these type of collaborations. And again, you can still make layered armor out of this and mix it with whatever you want. So at the very least, you have the best of both worlds. You have a full set of armor that is, you know, good or bad depending on how you want to min-max. And you still have a layered armor option because, of course, you will. That's just how the way the game has been built at this point. And lastly, like I mentioned at the top of the video, PC players, you do not need to worry. This USJ Collaboration event quest will be coming available either mid to late February onto the PC via Steam. You don't necessarily need to be worried like you're going to be missing out. It would have been great, I will admit to that it would have been great if it became available pretty much at the same time on the Nintendo Switch as it does on PC, because then it would mean that you could take advantage of these better stats, higher defenses, and all that kind of good stuff you know, as you are building up your high rank armor. I know a lot of people have been using the guild one that they give you pretty much right away. It pretty much carries you all the way to high rank, and even like maybe a couple of levels beyond that. But then, you know, once you get into like the mid-tier high rank monsters, you definitely want to start building up your armor set, you know, as you typically would as you make your way to endgame. So this would have been nice to have it available on day one on PC, but understandably so, it's going to be available next month, so do not worry. But if you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.